the chance, losing the horse, build up the seas, set the serpents alight. Define the heights, behold your sight. For those windmills, let them run again. 'Cause I will fight. Let it be the cold rain, be it battle I cannot survive, or another cursed spirit come from the tide. Every morning, every night, my fate confide. Beyond our years upon the bridge across the stranger line. Those devils never break out of their great disguise. So I will fight. Another sound, another falsely fight. Those rambling words they pressed upon my soul. Every inch I march towards the fatal side. Against the winds, against the lights, I shall conquer that. 'Cause when you stop to dream, your whole heart gives into life.
Listen and you'll hear the heartbeat of a universe teeming with force. See all the forms and the faces of nature taking its course. And feel all the wonderful motion flowing through things far and near. Nature will share her secrets when we are ready to hear. Energy, these are a few of your faces, glowing in timeless places, bringing our lives new graces. Energy, there is no living without you. We must keep learning about you. Now is the time to find how to. Energy, you are profound. You make the world go round and round. You make the world go round. You make the world go round. You make the world go round.
Thank you, Energy. Hello, everybody. How's it going? You're having a good Wednesday evening. NES day. That's how I learned how to spell that day. How's it going? Orchid Man, thank you for the stream streak. Little Main and Exploding Boy 97, thank you for following. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate it. Hi, everyone. We are going back into Elden Ring, continuing my no summon run. Probably getting through the magic school today. Where that place is called. Yes, I got my Beaver. I survived Beaver Bother shirt, which more so than anyone else, I think I earned this one. Thank you, Ollie. Yep, it's been a busy week, but been having fun. There's already plenty to talk about tomorrow on Game S Mornings with all this stuff coming out about id. Maybe using freaking Unreal Engine and the layoffs there. Stuff about Obsidian. I think I've been saying it's not some original thought I have, but forever. I was like, they should have Obsidian make Fallout, and now it's like, that might be what they do. And I'm like, boy, you should have decided to do that a long time ago. I don't know. Video games. Hard we get the minds, the content mind. Yeah, make up some positive stories. Look, I'll find something. Yeah, the id stuff came from GamesBeat, so it came from Dean. If we had some sources, while like apparently one of the things was like, we'll make Perfect Dark now, and they're like, no. Even did that even mention Unreal? Where did this Unreal thing come? I don't know. I would almost like to ask Schreier about that, because Schreier was the one, I think, who said like they're gonna focus on the most important franchises, and he included Doom and Quake in that. And now I'm like, where did Doom and Quake come from as important franchises? Because it doesn't seem like they think they're important with what they're doing to id. So I don't know. It's a mess. Seems like a freaking mess. 58 deaths. Didn't work. Oh, next is 59. Wow, we're getting close to 100 already. The boss in this place isn't too hard. Rennala or whatever, from what I recall. I don't know. It probably fucked me up. I said that. We have a good weapon now, though. He's a cool boss. Data, 6,000. Thank you for 17 months. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Yeah, the Twin Moons. Yeah, I saw that Nintendo put out a demo for Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. I liked that game. Alright, I'm like, what is this place? Alright. So we unlocked the gray site for, gate. Let's go teleport here and go get the map, at least. You've been approached by a friend, change jobs, give 50% pay raise. I mean, you should take, there are other things to consider. Are you going to enjoy that job? Are your benefits still good, right? Do you think there's job security there? Because it seems like you have job security now. So, you know, you gotta be careful. Like, I'm like, you know, I don't know all the details. Yeah, you gotta be careful. Yeah, we really got behind these people. Yeah, these fucking things. Matt, thank you so much, Matt, for 43 months. Appreciate that. I hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope you have a good evening. Trying to really just largely sneak by these assholes and get to that map marker. Where'd you come from? They are doing pretty decent damage to these guys, though. Say that. If I just get on my horse, I'll probably run past a lot of these guys. We'll kill some. Horse Cougar, thank you for 38 months. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Don't you hear me? Firehair, thank you for the gifted sub. Just so appreciate that. Thank you, Firehair. Jump, there you go. I want to pick that up. Come on. Stop. Oh, look at that guy stuck after that thing. Yeah, this weapon's pretty freaking good. You can see why it was recommended to me. Okay, Manus, thank you so much for continuing your Prime/gifts up to a Tier 1 subscription. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh, huge, 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 huge. Golden seed, hell yeah. Yeah, it's also good to find things in this game. Thank you. Oh, yes, I did win draft. It's happened before. It can be done. I got really mad last night because I saw a Reddit thread where people, like, they posted 4 games. It was, like, Breath of the Wild, Cyberpunk, Witcher 3, and Scott, some other, you know, open world thingy like that. They're like, which one would you get rid of? And the overwhelming choice from them was Breath of the Wild. It's always Reddit with me. Yeah, I know. No, it was something more. It was something better than Crimson Desert. They were all like, call me crazy, but I just don't get it. You know, that kind of thing. Alright. There it is. Nanny Jams, thank you so much for 1 month. Thank you for your first month. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope you're having a good evening. Which were the 4 again? Well, it was Breath of the Wild, Cyberpunk. Oh, yeah. Cyberpunk, Red Dead 2, and Witcher 3. What I get rid of? Cyberpunk. Even I understand, like, I don't know. I would get rid of all of them before Breath of the Wild, to be clear. I mean, Jesus. And, like, of course, they're too, like, I don't get why people think that game even matters. It's like, oh, my God. Look, I like Red Dead. I'll get rid of that well before Breath of the Wild. I'd probably get rid of it before Witcher. Would I? Probably. I don't know. Okay, so where... We got this map for a meeting place. What's this? Oh, the finger reader Crone's hanging out there? I don't know what she's doing. Not that. Map of meeting place. So kind of left of the castle, there's this little island. This thing? There's like a dragon hanging out over there, if I can remember this correctly. That's it. Those Tears of the Kingdom. I like Tears of the Kingdom even a little bit more in Breath of the Wild, but I don't know. Tears of the Kingdom I thought rolled. Haven't there been more Breath of the Wild likes? It's hard. I mean, it's hard to make big games like that in general. Even if you get like kinda close, like a Crimson Desert, a lot of people will still freaking freak out and find something to like about it, I suppose. Right, we got one from Ubisoft. There's that indie one, kind of. It's probably scary to be like, we're gonna make one of those, but without the Zelda license or franchise rights. That's hard. Right, like Get It Back kind of has a lot of that DNA. Although, I don't know if it's so much the freedom of that game or the waifus that, and husbandos that's helping that one. I don't know. Forget what this shrine has. Yeah, so I think so too. Why not? That's one thing I've learned during all my time playing these games is the power of just running past things. Right, and it's free to play. Helps. Are those other Mahoyo ones doing well? What's Wuthering Heights? Is that Mahoyo? That's a different thing? I don't know. Other thing. Honkai. Yeah, is Zenless Zone Zero doing okay? I don't know. I don't know much about Zenless Zone Zero. I think in spirit, I like the idea of Honkai Star Rail the most because I like trains. These guys have something? What was that? Oh shit, there's the dragon. Oh, they're not dropping any items. Honkai is just a quality word. That's true. I guess I gotta kill the dragon. Do dragons bleed? I guess we don't have to kill the dragon. Right over there. We'll try. Let's get a hit in. Oh. I didn't think it would hit me that hard, I gotta be honest. Huh. Man. Not exactly the closest. Alright. Let's make sure we pick this stuff up at least this time. Actually, that's a lot of souls I need to pick up too, so let's be careful here. Let's get that shit back. Interesting. Oh, let me upgrade my flask or whatever. Okay, so how many do I need? Another seed? Probably. I don't know. Can't believe how quickly. I didn't even realize I had taken any damage. Guess I didn't top off from earlier. Guess I didn't actually rest at that point when I got it. Yeah, makes sense. That's fine. Man, I could have sworn I even killed this dragon in my first playthrough. Maybe I came back later. That guy fucked me up. I'm gonna run straight back behind him, try to get what I need. We'll get my souls first, then the key, and whatever these other 2 items are. Close now. Yeah, a lot of the dragon bosses like aren't amazing. There's some fun ones. There's Bale. Didn't pick up everything. Jesus. Just want to pick the item. Okay. Come on, let me get the item. There we go. Oh, that was really worth it. Oh, that's bad. You know what? This ain't happening. Run! Never mind! Okay. Well, next time we just have to get ourselves back. We're not going to try to fight the dragon right now. This dragon seems a little difficult at the moment. We'll deal with the magic pool first. Yeah, I think I'm mostly just supposed to stand below him and keep hitting his toesies. Look, I guess we could try, but, like, again, if I start running out of my blast, I'm out of there. Again, a lot of his attacks are just practically one-shotting me. Kind of a long run back at the moment. Again, maybe let's just not bother. We'll wait till another weapon upgrade, some more health. It's not like I get some great reward for killing this guy. We'll come back. If that. Should maybe go to that one tower so I can activate my great rune or whatever. Anybody watching Games Done Quick today? Watched a bit of the Pokemon race. I watched Pragmata last night. There's something fun happening later. I love Pragmata. Definitely could be... Definitely one of my games of the year so far. Oh god, you're resting on my soul. Thanks. They done any Bethesda games yet? I don't know. I don't think Tomato Anus is there. Maybe he is, but I saw him streaming the other day anyways, which made me think he wasn't there. Okay, so yeah, over here I would like to go. Also, like, the turtle pope's around here somewhere. I wonder if we should go maybe explore the island there. How do we get down there? Go double back from this way. Do that real quick. Probably gotta cut this way. Thank you for the stream streaks, chocolate plantain. Appreciate it. Hate having these waypoints on my map still. I gotta get rid of them. Did I not? Oh, damn it. Oh, some ruins. These usually have some kind of underground cave or something important. Right. There we go. Don't blow that. Ow. That's a fuzzy dog. Oh, they did a Barkley Shut Up and Jim Guidance speedrun? God, I played that game way back when, a long time ago, and I thought at the time that it was very funny. Oh shit, I didn't see it. I'm so sad that we're not getting that sequel. Maybe it's for the best. Thought there was a tunnel. Aha. Neat. If Fox inspired a lot by it, I can see that. A gross grape. Scrapes are for something. I don't know. Don't need faith. Yeah, I think I wonder if I would have spent a lot more time in VR if I didn't get motion sick by it. If I still kind of ultimately be like, yeah, you know, it's neat, but. This seems important. What'd it say? Oh, Millennia went this way, huh? How'd that work out for her? I should go kill one thing, apparently. People are fighting up there. What's going on here? Puppets. Liza P. I have some memory of this. Oh yeah, there's lots of ghosts. I see your souls. I'm not on the ghost side. I'm not on anybody's side. Because I know how it is. Okay, these corpses have anything good. Oh shit. That's pretty good. Don't mind me. Ow. Ooh, Golden Ring 6? Holy shit. Ow. Alright. Game's a tad loud. Really? Okay. There you go. Well, in that spot, yeah, I'm sure that was a loud spot. That's fine. I'll lower a little bit. We know that's too much. Yeah, I probably need some more health. Needs to be a bit of a problem. What's this thing about? Guy gesturing. They want to know what gesture they want? Hey, babe. We're doing pretty good. And bow. To try life. DX chops, I would. Let's just pray. Worried about it. Hey, Flex Retro. Oh my god. Thank you. Those ducks were sleeping. They were up to something. I heard them say mean things about minorities in their sleep. Don't worry. This one... Yeah, this dog looks like a skunk for a second. Fuck, that's safe. Whoa, what are you, the smartest dogs ever? Stop that. Luna was watching, she'd be upset. Oh, give her a sock or something, she'll get over it. Oh, yeah. You never played Sewer Shark. The neighbor had Prize Fighter. Yeah, yeah. Prize Fighter is probably even much harder. Again, if you haven't, you should watch that Pandemonium documentary about Digital Eclipse. Yeah, Prizefighter did get remastered. I do need to check that out at some point. It's weird because they've done... They did Night Trap, they've done Prizefighter, they did, what's the one that's like Night Trap called? I want to play that. Something Shock or Switch or something. It's New Orleans, a 14-year-old. Fell asleep at the door, deadbolt. We couldn't wake him. Oh no, he had to get a room in a random French Quarter hotel. The room had at least a 30-degree slant into the room. Oh my gosh. Double Switch, that's it. Yeah, I want to play Double Switch. I'm not fighting this crap. No good will come of that. The big one I really want them to do is that that one that was finished but never released with Walter Koenig in it from Star Trek. Oh, there's that cool boss. If I do this right now, I haven't saved it. I'd like to find a rest point. Or we could just not be cowards. I don't know if I can bleed a ghost. Damn it. Yeah. Pick out your own minions for me. Damn it. Stuck. Just so cool. Nope. Where is he? Where's your master? Where is Boat Dude? On him. Oh shit, did he despawn? That would suck. There he is. How do you get over there? You better not have gotten your health back, I swear to God. Ow. Oh, run away, run away, run away. Got him. Just think that fight's neat. What is Death Root for? Oh. Yep, doing bleed. Got this big weapon right here. Very nice to get down there. I'm sure at some point I'll get that katana. Do something a bit faster. Oh, good. I got another painting, huh? Like, this isn't quite enough for a level up. I have a smaller one. Your second playthrough's bleed. Yeah, at some point I might do wield a katana, maybe, I don't know, the starting bleed weapon or something else. This weapon is very cool. Oh, maybe I should get my dex to 30. The Reduvia dagger. Yeah, I don't know that one. I like vaguely remember that little building up there. Jesus. God. Oh boy. About to bleed. There we go. Mid-range bleed projectile. They're not backseating. I like learning about weapons. This isn't my first playthrough, you know. That's not like that's interesting. Power's important, right? Think this is where I activate that? We'll see. Maybe it's the time. Check it out. For a moment. And the big goal today is to get through the magic school. So we'll wander around a little bit still. I think I remember this place. I think there's some NPCs up ahead that I have to fight that are difficult. Oh, I don't have it. I feel like when I played this game the first time, I like got here and was like, this is hard, and had to come back much later. But we'll see if I'm correct in that. Yeah, I remember some magic people in there that were difficult. Nice. What's this thing? What's happening up there? Ow! Yeah, that's what hurt me last time. Yeah, I remember now. Yep, that's the NPC. Yeah. Oh my god. That's some health you have, sir. Okay, I can bleed him, though. Where'd you go? Did you fall? You're up there. Great. Good souls, though. It's not hitting me from here. Pay a gain. You know, I get my butt looked at a lot because of the Crohn, so I have a colonoscopy almost every year or so, don't have to worry about me. Ow. Okay, nowhere to run. Oh my god. No, there's a place for her to run. I don't know where she went, but she did it. That was my butt. I mean, you know, it still has Crohn's, but there's no, you know, nothing worse than that. Okay, did you go back down or further in? Must be further in. Lady, I'm getting real tired of this. Are you kidding me? Ow! Jeez. Stay away from her when she does that. Ugh. Ah! Oh! She did the Goku instant transmission Kamehameha there. There's nothing I could do. Is she gonna do this forever? I don't even have any more heals. Gotta be aggressive here, I guess. Oh my god. Damn it! Jesus! God. Okay, you don't need to be that far away. Oh. Thanks for taking my suggestion into consideration. I can't not take another hit. I don't really know what to do. I'm not going to go beyond this. I'm not going to go further down. If I go the other way, she'll just teleport that way, right? It can't be that easy. Gotta be out of MP or something, right? Ah! Ah! I can't believe I'm not dead. Oh, they hit me once, apparently. I'm so toast. Oh, no, 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 no! Why? No! Ah! I do can't hide one. Jeez. Freaking. Can't believe that. Thanks, babe. Alright, well. We know what's up this time, I guess. I gotta make sure I don't die before that, though, because that's a decent amount of souls. Not nothing crazy. Oh, now we don't have to worry about those no more. You know, let's do myself a favor. Fine. Oh, thank you, Gabe. Look, there they are. Let's just pretend with those are a bunch of souls. God. That gets me every time. Pull the lever. Right, the lever. There you go. Just, yeah, exactly. I just wanted to give Firehair something to be able to clip. Oh, guys. You think I'm smart enough to fake that? Hey, Dan, how's it going? Oh, shit. I always forget there's always, like, one of these, like, surprise ones. Why would I want to be here, though? It doesn't matter now. Whatever. Got nothing to lose there. God. Things are going great. Yeah. Batman begin. Make a terror attack and make all your guns face either left or right. Just drive in a circle. Ooh, interesting. No. I just beat the the second difficulty version of the first planet with I forget what it was. I think it was with the Rammy guy. The guy who looks like my brother Chris. But just did that. It was really fun. I just sent out the codes for the new premium members, by the way. Okay. Don't even think about it. Alright. That was good. Just do a lot of damage. Let's just be aggressive here. Am I a better uncle than your brother? Well, my brothers are also uncles. But they're also fathers. I'm the only full-time uncle. So, like, yeah, I'll go ahead and say it. I think I'm a better uncle. But, you know, that's my only worry. Oh, thanks, camera. That was a lot of healing I had to do. Right. I rolled. Shit. Oh, dude, not now. This is annoying. I should probably take my time and kill all these people, but it's slow. Alright, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it. Fine. I have no idea what's at the top of this thing. I don't have a great rune slot right now. I get the bleed off, did I? Fortunate. Lever. Just remember to send these things back down. Why not finesse has increased poise? I forget about my spirit things. My Ash of War or whatever. I always forget about those. I don't think it's bullshit you can teleport while charging that up. Damn it. Oh my god. Oh, fucking hell, we got it. I thought she was gonna get me there. Oh good, a spell I won't use. Actually, tons of souls, so worth quite a bit. Stairs somewhere. Yeah, these guys are worth pretty good experience. Ow. Didn't have to use up a lot of my heals that time. There's the ladder. Yeah, I can see that. Oh, fun. Nothing scary about this. Great. Oh, that rat did some damage. That's upsetting. I see you, asshole. What are you waiting for? Wait for you to climb up. Jeez, they have some range. Rats with range, alright. Worms with wings. Oh my god. Take that. sure this is a magic thing. And how do I go up any further? Do I not? Is there a lever somewhere? Wanna fuck around with that rat? I like the ghost song. Rat's Mike, I don't know that one, I'm afraid. Don't remember it anyways. Yeah, what am I trying to accomplish now? Oh. I could jump on the where'd you come from? Like, I want to go over here, but I don't know how to get any higher up. I have so many souls, I don't know if I really want to risk dying. I mean, I must be able... It's something to do with lowering that chandelier. There was that item in the beginning, or that pedestal. Maybe I get an item from the magic school and I put it there. I think I should just leave. We got some souls. We had fun. We had a good time. The message on that one. Yeah. Do what I need to level up my weapon again. Get going at the magic school.
If I do have it, I suppose I should try. I'll ask Master.
Been saying you'd ask him for a while now. Just do it. Hey, buddy.
Now, those eyes of a challenger who's fine and well.
I just need to sing a little somber Smithing Stone 3, which I don't have yet. The Brightpot's Wolf is in Densha attack? That's cool.
The girl. Are you out of your mind? Who'd stay with an ugly bull? Absurd.
Oh, I have to ask for her.
I refuse to, but I don't doubt you, but I know when. I see you've noticed nothing special.
You're a prisoner, but I'm gonna pretend to be interested in him.
Despite my
That ghost scared me, running at me, by the way. Wanted you to know.
If I do, I suppose I'll ask Master.
Good level. Keep things at 30 for dexterity for a bit. What about figure again? Something from Ranny. That's a Ranny thing. I think we meet Ranny relatively quickly after. What the hell's the Coliseum? I don't remember that. Oh, you. Who are you?
Oh, this I can't remember the last time in very well. It is safe here. Allow me a word. You are a mere visitor, a house guest. Remember your...
Oh, I could go talk to the fingers. Forgot about that.
Are you? You don't know it. I interpret the word. Look there. Let there with
Great Elden Ring, anchor of all lands until it was shattered.
You're again, game. Do you think being too sure?
Corruption of the order across the realm, foul, but the greater will. And so it is that the tarnished, brave tarnished, seek to become Elden.
let the word. Well, a remembrance. Demi, I'll hewn they are these remembrances, and should you, I will the fingers guide us.
I don't think there's anything I want here. Too bad. Grafted Dragon sounds cool and all.
Now,
Yeah, story recap when this playthrough's done. Sure. Yeah. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. I think I have that. I think I got a code for it. I just haven't played it. Yeah, I've heard some decent things about it. I played that Grand Blue Fantasy fighting game and I thought it was pretty neat. There's some cool like characters in it. Right, good character design. What happened here? We start here, right? If a franchise could cross over with Looney Tunes, much like Disney and Final Fantasy with Kingdom Hearts, what would cross over? Looney Tunes? A video game franchise? Dragon Quest is not bad. Nope, this is not New Game Plus. By the way, was it the last Voice About Dump Truck I was on when they were all of a sudden like, we like Looney Tunes more than Disney? And like, almost like looked at the camera to see my reaction. I'm like, alright guys, that's fine. Very cool. You have fun with that. Yeah, so I played Elden Ring when it came out. I'm playing it again because I've played all the other Souls games now, and I want to do this game with no summons. No Spirit Ashes or whatever. No the people. Young Flappa Prime, thank you for following. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Looney Tunes XCOM. They take... what's this bell noise? I can't remember this. Somebody wants to hurt me. This is a cool looking place, huh? Hey, magic schools are cool. If only there was a neat media franchise that was about them. And it's not created by fucking transphobe. Give me that magic grease, baby. The good shit. I always keep forgetting about that Star Wars S1 game. I'm looking... Oh, you guys even look cool. I'm looking so forward to the Racer that I am looking past that one a little bit. Still killing you first. Alright, you guys done? We're all very impressed. Nice. Oh shit. I can upgrade my weapon with that. I'm not gonna run back to that bonfire to do that though. We'll wait till the next one. Ah, there it is. I'm like, where's the door? Oh. Here we go. Fantastic. I've still never played Midnight Suns. I will at some point. There's a Switch 2 version of that. Alright, we're teleporting. That's what we're doing. Yeah, I just shouted the Earth Tree. We'll do that again with this run as well. Don't worry. Hello.
I don't believe we've met. I'm
No.
known as D. I heed my those who live in death all the more should you spy a mariner among their number, unless you wish to live.
Could I show him my death route? Let me know if it's bad to show him Death Root, because I'm going to. Hey, oh. It's good.
Well, with a prowess for weeding, how would you like to earn this? If you're inclined to hunt more of those who live in death, then I'll introduce you to Garank. I have a matter of my own, the beast himself. What say you?
Okay.
Very well. Show me you. I've marked the location. It will lead you to Garank.
Thank you. Where's that lady at?
Oh, your divinity, have mercy.
What'd you do?
I didn't notice. I'll be doing my job. Just lay out your... Those words were not meant for you. I may be prisoner to you, tarnished lot, and my prayers. Well, I spoke with the girl. She has a gift for spirit tuning. So I told her I'm indebted to a spirit tuner. It was all I could do to honor her. I'm sorry I doubted you.
Right. Now we need nothing zone 4. Yep, this is still a dex weapon. And I am gonna remember to make this a two-hander again.
I have you to thank, don't I? I can happily announce I'm as yet unsure. But if there's any chance, well, I
So we won't be doing anything with her because we are not using spirit ashes. Church of the Cucko. The Cuck Church. But you showed up to the dump truck book I kept fucking. How long could you keep it up? I don't know. That's hard. It's like, how do I say non-Captain Falcon sentences as Captain Falcon, right? Show me your voicemail. Yeah. Just a lot of like screaming. Falcon. Oh, man, Captain Falcon's neat. This place is cool. God, I really would just fucking hell. I really would just Jesus. We're like in Elden Ring 2. My voice with theme song's good. Thank you. We'll have to make another one. I mean, hey, look, there was bad news before I took over as well. Don't forget that all the disc stuff happened before I got there. I'm not gonna take full responsibility. God, it's always a... Damn it, these guys are tough. It's always fun when you do the heavy news. There always be... I don't know. Again, I know the comments. There's like one comment, I think on the site. It was like, constructive criticism. You shouldn't be fantasy booking, like, what studios should be working on when people's jobs were lost. I'm like, I don't know how to make it any more clear that people losing their jobs was the worst thing to happen here. And also, Mike, so-called fantasy booking about Obsidian doing Fallout was correct. That's what the reporting says is going to happen. So, no, you got to read the comments. You got to know what people are saying. Fine. God, there's too many of these assholes. Yeah, someone has to. Look, I didn't respond to it. I am growing. It's fine. I just want to vent about how stupid it was. Because look, there must be some avenue for criticism. I do need to hear criticism. It's just hard because sometimes the criticism is not right. God, why do I get hit so much from these assholes? Oh, give me that dried liver. Hell yeah. I guess we gotta heal. Not a great start. Thank you. That was a pretty good one. I want to upvote this one. This one was good. Oh, good. Yeah. Where'd you get? Your range, sir. Impressive. I hate these guys. Yeah, just fall off. Oh my god, they're so fast with that. Okay. Okay, I can't even reach you guys from up there. That's not fair. How's that fair? Come on. Just jump down. Fight me. Got a fucking arrow in my head. It's fine. No big deal. Jesus. Where's the arrow shooting me now? Where's that even happening from? Oh, bullshit, I was jumping at you. I'm really going through my healing here. Get away from me. Ah. Let me in. Screw you guys. Yeah, maybe I should be fighting some of these. Oh boy. Jesus, Mike. Sloppy, sloppy, sloppy. Ow! Oh, this stuff. Right. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I need to really get to healing. Oh god, there's an electric ball. You want me to parry the ball? Oh, it's not a ball. Damn it. Alright, it's fine. It's not fine. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Ooh. Ouch. And also, we're quite a bit away from that. Did I not do any damage to this dude? Alright. Let's try to just run past all these assholes who are... Yeah, we're gonna actually run past for a while. A lot of assholes who are trying to grab me. The dog's a bit more worrisome, but we'll see. A little hard here because they're kind of all waiting at the end of the bridge, but whatever. We can actually run past them before they can't get up the ground. There's gonna be people with arrows over there. Yeah, see, this is... Ah! Damn it. Please don't kill me. I have a decent amount of souls. Okay. Ow, ow, ow. Fine, it's fine, it's fine. Fuck you. Wait for the dog. Oh my god. This dog shoots me hard. Okay. This is fine. You actually hit him that time. Jesus. This went much better. I don't know why I didn't hit him last time. Well, people like that spell, Gravity Well. I'm making that up. See how this goes. Here we go. Favorite discounted snack or discontinued? Pepsi Nitro. I did like those Oreo Coke Zeros. Those are surprisingly really good. What else? Greedy Doritos. Those are fine. They're funny, but I don't know if I miss them all that much. Favorite candy bar? Again, I don't eat that much candy anymore. I still kind of... A Kit Kat can hit every once in a while, though. What needs more? Like 14,000 more? Pepsi Blue is funny. I didn't like it, but it was, again, it was interesting. Problem is, like, I think the best candy is still just kind of Skittles and Starburst. They've never really been top, so those are still around, so I'm still pretty good. Retro Sid, thank you for following. Appreciate it. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. You ever had Haichu? No. Skittles and Starburst are the two best foods, period. I don't want to go that far, but I do like them. Wait, what? Ow! Where'd you come from? I want this item. Leave me alone. I said leave me alone. I'm trying stealth. Ow. Oh my god. Whoa! I didn't even notice that other one. Oh, Jesus. Oh, this is a big problem. I think I remember dying to this squad a few times before. This is a very familiar sequence here. Hey, Eagle. Best place to get a GameCube. I prefer going to local game stores if you have those instead of eBay. You can actually see the thing. They usually test them first. I've gotten mine at local game stores. I have not gotten one on eBay. Hey, Braith. Thank you for subscribing Prime. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That reminds me, like, I saw somebody in the area was having a garage sale today and tomorrow, and they had video games. I couldn't go today. It's one of those things, like, if I can't go on the first day, everything's gonna be gone. Goodwill, maybe. I think you gotta get a little bit lucky to get cool gaming stuff out of Goodwill, but you can. Are these guys really not gonna... Fine. Whoa, 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 whoa. Fucking hell. Get up. Up. Roll. 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 Damn it! Why did I heal? Should've just kept rolling. Yeah, I mean, you can always get a Wii and it's a GameCube. It's just... It's a better GameCube in most ways, and yet I don't like as much. You hear anything about the new fighting game anime with Street Fighter 6 in it? No, I have not heard about that. I guess the GameCube can get the Game Boy player, so you can play Game Boy Advance games on it. It's just a much cooler looking console, man. Got a staff. Young ladies don't play fighting games. I bet that show actually proves the opposite perspective. Just a guess. Okay, if I'm faster about this, I actually do kill these guys in one hit. There we go. Gotta be good. I got a pot. Oh boy. So I'm almost dead. I'm stupid and greedy. I have bad priorities. Okay, God. Very fighting game heavy, though. The pots have to be in the movie. Come on. Jesus Christ. I'm not doing this until I kill you. Oh, they weren't lying. Oh, nice. There. Comet. The people like that one, I think. I see the hole. How'd you get? How'd someone get over there? What is this? Oh, right, there's a jump button in this video game. What is going on? Me. Oh, that sound. Okay, what is this? Great. Oh, talisman, huh? There's everything in here is kind of for sorceries, which makes sense, but not very helpful for me. You see that crew reference can switch to? I did see that. Oh, hey, look. That door. Of course, it's super on sale Steam right now. Well. This is actually a boss room. Might be. Oh, okay. Oh! We don't have very many healing. I should have gone back for that. It's fine. Ow, ow, it's not fine. Ow. Oh, we're doing some damage at least. I can hit him. For the last heal. Ow. Oh, shit. Ah. Oh, shouldn't be too hard next time. I should not have walked through that mist door. I can probably run past all these assholes to get back to him at least. Yep. We'll be fine. Got lucky there. Oh, damn. What the hell was that? Oh my god. I cannot get my health up. There we go. Just die. This is a real weird fight. Jeez. Good enough. Oh, good. I can cast more spells now. Yeah, not pretty. We got it, though. Man, that's a ton of souls I got. Let me get a drink. I'll be right back. What's over here? Interesting. And the note stuff is fun. Close to the tree. Oh shit. No good, but neat. What you got? Never got that Mr. Beast message. Mr. Beast? Oh, I get it. Eh. Oh, of course, 6 was so freaking good. Yeah, I'd like to replay that at some point. Maybe try to get one of the different endings. Ow. Didn't see you there. Ow. Fortnite was funny. I always laughed at the ones pointing to things that aren't dogs and saying dog. I'm not gonna lie, it was funny. That it then. Oh boy. Backpot? Yep. Oh, what the hell is that? Oh, I didn't quite kill you, huh? Assumed I did. And now we're back. I should, get my stuff back. Oh, I remember this. Oh, they're not gonna get me this time. I know about the fucking boulders. Oh, nice. I didn't even get the item, or is that a trap? Okay, I think it's like right here. Kind of safe, yep. The plebes here drop a nice rare weapon. What are plebes? Those dudes down there? How nice of a weapon is it? A bleed weapon? Oh god, I don't know if I should do this. I guess we should at least get the check mark. Splendor Noble Sword. If it's bleed, I'll farm it. Otherwise, I might move on for now. I want to fight this guy. shit. Oh, wow! I was doing so good! Oh, shit! Alright, well. Not bleed. Well, I'll kill them on my way back to my souls. Damn, I was doing well there for a moment. Yeah, I got. It happens sometimes. That's pretty good out of my like stealth thing. This little twirly, pretty good. That wasn't it. Oh, do you mean the big thing? This thing? Ow! Oh, for fuck's sake, stop that. Ow! Oh my god, I suck. Ow. I'm gonna kill this thing one time and then not worry about it. Oops. I don't think this thing's gonna bleed. It is made of metal. Oh! Oh. Well, this takes me somewhere, doesn't it? No, I'm good. Well, so much for those souls. Huh. Alright, well, I'm gonna kill this guy because I don't like him. I think he's a mean jerk. Okay. Got. Let's see, where are my souls? No. Whoa! Let's avoid standing in front of him. Jesus. He's taking different damage when he does that. Okay. We got him. Heath, was that the vagina one? Is that the vagina movie? Yep. Damn it. Guess we're only gonna jump attack him. I don't know what I expected. We'll get back up there faster, at least. I won this game. When this game first came out, there's so many red spots here. I have a new idea. You can counter that? You can counter my what? That idea sucked. Huh. Alright, I guess we won't do it. I guess we'll just jump attack, then dodge backwards, jump attack again. I'm a fool for trying anything else. God. Time for sure, maybe. Ow. Don't do that. Ow. You got a staff out. Ooh! Damn it. Could probably start being more aggressive. He has a staff out. I assume he can't counter anymore. Hey, more berry. This is the Hogwarts area. Where am I? Oh, they're there. Yeah. What's the shield on it? Damn it! Caught me. Let me heal. Oh, nice bleed. Oh, you don't have one, idiot. There we go. First try. I think I used that shield. Yeah. Ow. Aren't you clever? this. Yeah, God's Can Do is gonna be a lot of fun when I get there. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh boy. Wow. Oh my god, how many? Jeez. The sanctuary zone. My sanctuary. My sanctuary, yeah. Where tears and lies melt away. Hey. Is it a weapon? Are there no mimics in this game? Keep checking for them anyways. I'm scared. They got me so hard in the other ones. Oh, gas traps. Well, alright, I should see where this goes. Get one. Get one bonfire, then return. Will you buy Turtle Pope? Yes, we are.
You are tarnished. I welcome you to the Church of Vows. I am Muriel. My apologies for... Do you know how it came to be?
I don't know.
That is a shame. The shattering has caused us, all of us. It is here, at the Church of Vows, that the great houses of the Erd Tree and the Moon were joined by the matrimonial bond between red-haired Radagon and Rennala of the Full Moon. And so our church holds in view the Erd Tree of the capital.
That's neat.
Oh, was this? You are free to... I would serve as your guide if you find anything of... Unless, perhaps, in which case... Oh, what have... Very well, that heresy is not native to the world. All things can... You wish to know more of Lord Radagon? Lord Radagon was a great champion. He came to these lands at the head of a great golden host. When he met Lady Rennala in battle, he soon repented his territorial aggressions there, and became husband to the Carian queen. However, when Godfrey, first Elden Lord, was hounded from the lands between, Radagon left Rennala to return to the Erd Tree capital, becoming Queen Marika's second husband and king consort, taking the title of Second Elden Lord. The mystery endures as to why Lord Radagon would cast Lady Rennala aside, and moreover, why a mere champion would be
It's because
for the
Radagon
sake of Elden Lord.
is that other lady. They're the same, yeah, the same person.
You wish to know more of Lady Rennala?
That's why.
She is queen, head of the great and beautiful.
We're gonna kill her.
Sadly, her heart was broken when the Academy rebelled against the royals. You know, it's said that a famed sculptor of the Erd Tree capital was once summoned to render Lord Radagon's like when he glimpsed the skeleton in Radagon's closet. and as such, it's said the great statue harbor.
Ooh.
In the end, Lady Rennala was left alone, cradling the amber egg. Now she devotes herself to it through for the grim art of. You would do well to remember severing a vow, strongest of bonds. You know, it's said that a famed sculptor when he glimpsed, and as such.
That's for anything else. Alright, neat, neat, neat. Which one am I at? When was that? Pretty sure the cuckoo doesn't seem right. It is. Probably is. Is it the bait parlor? Let's see where this is. I feel like this isn't right. Yeah, this is way earlier. This be it. I was fast enough. If I could just get over there. Did it stop because I killed that guy? It's not a thing anymore? Okay. Would I eat a turtle pope? Not unless I had to. I had to be pretty desperate. Gotta let the turtle pope be. Let it be. Let him be. Tonight I dine on turtle pope soup. This is where the fight is, isn't it? I feel like there's gotta be. They don't expect me to run all the way back here. I wonder if I missed the site of grace. Well, if I did, I'll find it on the way back. We'll just one-shot her. Again, I don't think she's that hard. It'll be easy, right? No, I do have a lot of goals. Alright, let's look around for a moment. Nope, nothing in there. Anything else over here? Where's that ladder? Alright. Ah. What? That one-shot me? What was that? I'm just gonna jump on that guy next time. Jesus! The spread shot is like shotgun blast. Holy crap. Okay. Well, like I said, it's a lot of souls. Let's make sure I get them. Jeez. If I had more health, I've been leveling up my health. I've been leveling up my health far more than I usually do at this point in these games. I want you to know. Besides, like, my healing isn't that good. See, I have more health, but granted, getting one shot like that would not be as much of a problem. My health is not that bad. Don't think. Where am I now? It's back in the courtyard. I guess I can go this way now to get back there. I guess that's the shortcut, huh? Found an amazing shortcut. I'll take it. I can also jump down here. Good, this is for now. Well, we're connecting everything now. I just love like these weird passive, like all these places that feels like you shouldn't be able to go. There's always something there. Anything else around here? Yep. Where is this? Ah, Jesus. Jesus. What is that? Get that away from me. Yeah. Ah. There we go. Jeez. This is such a cool area, man. Well done, thank you. It was hard, but I persevered. A good gamer. Meteor point. Guess I just keep going down. Ow. Oh my god. I'm getting arrowed pretty hard right now. Damn it. Stop that. Jeez, you're pretty good. Ah! No, no, no. No, no. No! Christ. Alright. Look at all these fucking arrows I got on me. Jesus. One's for my fucking head. Thank you so much. Ellie says smile for following. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Well, that can't be it. Gotta be something else at the end of all this. I mean, I got the item. It was a gold rune. That's nice. I can fall down there now. Jeez. Oh my god, another one of them. I gotta be careful. They're more deadly than I thought. They go this way. Oh, what's this? Imbued sword key. What's that? Okay. I think I really want to smith. Oh, there's two of them. I really want a smithing stone. Oh, this jump's gonna fucking suck. I don't like this. Yeah. Bad battle? Oh, hell yeah. There we go. Can upgrade our weapon. Huge. That's huge. Okay. That's the end of all this. This fancy crab over there. See me? I don't think your weapon's long enough, buddy. Yeah, no summoning help this time. I'm going here. Am I, man? Oh shit. Fine. That seems neat. Now I'm above this area from way back when. I think that interesting detour now over. We did it, jeez. Alright, let's go back, let's upgrade our weapon, level up. Yeah, I'll do all the major bosses, including the DLC.
Well, I took you for no matter. Lay out your arms then.
I did the. I mean, I fought all the major bosses, but I was using. I would do summons, and I had. I even have Mimic here, but I had one of the ashes things, or whatever you call those spirits. So it was coward adjacent. This time, no summoning whatsoever. All right. So I have to go to the debate parlor. Alright, so I think we can, like, go up the little dirt mound here now. These guys are fun. I was like, wait, why am I... I know why. I know why. There we go. I remembered now. Don't worry, everybody. What if I got... Oh, damn it. What if I got the cool thing? Alright, I'm gonna try that again. This time I'm not gonna stop to kill these guys. I gotta run. I already got eaten by the Iron Maiden. It sucked. Just killed me. I thought it was gonna send me somewhere. It must be a different Iron Maiden that does it. Oh, damn it. That fingered that. Maybe you have to survive the attack? I don't know. It's at the bottom of this place, huh? Is this one of the longer run backs in this game? God damn it, how? You better not kill me. Oh, so that elevator is not there right now. Let's remember that. Yep, we're about to fight Rennala. I'm just gonna send you back right now. Hey, rude. Yeah, so creepy.
Hush, little Calva.
I forget what's up with the egg.
I'll soon birth thee anew, a sweeting, fresh and pure.
Who is she gonna rebirth? Well, I know the eggs I meant, like... Alright, where's that? Damage.
Come, sweetest. Time to be born anew.
There you are. far as gimmicks go, I think this one's kind of neat. It's not difficult. Ow! There you are, jeez. Yeah, what an easy fight. That must be it.
My beloved, have no fear. I will hold thee. Patience. Ye will be countless born, forever and ever. Upon my name is Rani the Witch. Mother's rich limber shall not be disturbed by thee.
I don't think I picked up on Ronnie having
Foul
anything to do with this last time. I guess I didn't know who Ronnie was before.
Send word far and wide. Of the last queen of Caria, Rennala of the full moon.
This is actually Ronnie, really?
And the majesty of the night she conjureth.
Oh boy. Ah! Oh boy. That spell looks so freaking cool, by the way. That's the coolest looking spell in these games. Slow moving moon thing. Wow. Oh, damn it, Mike. Embarrassing. Alright. Was that a one-shot thing? Granodic, thank you for following. Appreciate it. Thank you. My bad. I got hit. I got there. Ugh. I should have dodged that. I should have backrolled a bit before trying to heal there. My bad. Fucking hell. Also. Damn. Oh, for fuck's sake. Now I gotta respawn over there because I'm not gonna. This with half health. There's no Xbox card this year. Oh, please don't kill me. These guys have some impressive range. We're a bunch of assholes. How I feel about Elden Ring over after Sekiro? Yeah, oh yeah, this game's also incredible. I mean, I like Sekiro maybe a little bit more, but I don't feel some big need to like pit them against each other or something. Both awesome. Okay. Just keep. Don't let him hit me this time. Not you. I think I sent this elevator down already. I Or it's possible. What if I just did the jump attack so I could phase 1 Ronnie? I don't know. Probably not. Or, oh, it's so creepy. Is that supposed to be Ronnie singing that song to the song to sleep? Seems like it. Right. Yeah, that was worse. Alright. There you are. Ow. Whoa. Ow! Fuck. Come on. That did not hurt me. Let's go. I think I should be a bit more aggressive in the start here. Maybe not. Jesus. Hey! Mike, stop being bad. Oh my god, I'm getting destroyed. I suck. I'm the worst. I'm the worst. I'm the worst. Not easy. I suck. That seemed like a pretty rough sequence there in my defense. What the hell was that? She never stopped. Hmm? Oh, I like... Oh, no. Not being serious. Fine. Gotta do the run back again, because I'm bad. We got it this time for sure, probably. But I gotta maybe I just need to just kill these assholes up here, and then no one will hurt me. Roll. Oh god. Fire here, not right now. The Mike Minotti song and said, alright, it's been a moment, huh? Mike Minotti, 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 Mike. Roll. I always forget that. Stupid mic. Getting pretty good RNG with the singers, though, this time. Well, he dropped the chandelier on me. Okay, where's the last one? I had to say something. Found him. Okay. Thank you for the cheers there, Mr. E753. Appreciate it. Guys, I hope you weren't taking my little self-deprecation all too serious. The way look, I appreciate the support. It's fine. I'll be all right. Don't worry. I got this. What is that? I don't like that. Oh boy. I'm working on it. I gotta work on this thing now. That one I think's not too bad. Oh no, it's pretty bad. The boomerang's a problem. Ah! What? I don't remember this. Oh, I don't have any more heals? What? Oh! Well, just not gonna hit anymore. Never mind. I'm not gonna summon. It's fine. I got this. I want to drink. No, I don't want to get up and get a drink. This, of course, is actually like kind of one of the longer run backs. All right. Of course, there had to be that. Okay, Rose, one guy chat like this fight will be easy for Mike. He'll just stun lock her. Well, I run out of endurance eventually. I just can't attack forever. Eventually, I have to back off. Yeah. If I could just get a bleed off. Yeah. Just go show her my moves. Show me your moves. Let's try to not have a chandelier dropped on us this time. I didn't get hit by that this time.
Come, sweetings. Time to be born anew.
I'm learning. That's one. Ah, it almost happened again. Don't hear her. The hell? Okay, this time for sure, maybe. Oh, come on. Oh, not the moon already. Ow, hit me. Damn it, Mike! Okay, who are you summoning? It's the wolves. It is a different summon, I know that. Okay. Ah, what the hell? No. It's that guy. Yeah, maybe I should just be running away from the summon for a bit. Thank you, Brogan. Appreciate it. Thank you. I probably shouldn't have jumped there. If it bleeds, we can kill it. Never mind. We're going back. You still watch AW? I haven't in a while. Just been busy. I know they had a show today of some kind. That was the, yeah, that musical version of The Predator that was posted forever ago on YouTube. If it bleeds, we can kill it. Now it's all up to me. I'm not summoning, guys. I've died like 5 times the boss. We got it. It's 5. You're more tilted, chat, than I am. You're the ones who are tilted. Dan said it was cool to summon. I don't want to be cool. I want to be a fucking nerd, all right? And fucking nerds definitely don't summon. Ah, I fat fingered the flask! We don't need it. Fuck it. It's fine. Jesus Christ, Mike. Oh my god. Oh my god! Well, that's the best pattern for that yet. running. Don't get hit.
Sleep tight.
Sleep time. La la la. There you are. Yeah, I think I definitely need some flask upgrades, that's for sure. Don't worry about that next time. Bye, be coreless. Oh, how'd that miss? Ah, it's a dragon! The dragon was still around, apparently. Almost died anyways. Ugh! Get out of here, dragon. It's a neat boss fight, really. Hey, we did it. First try. Text Jeff. Oh, God. He's on vacation. Wait, text him. What do you want to text him on this vacation? This is good. This is good. Can't wait. Don't call her. See. Grub. Alright, I'm ready. Spaghetti Sunday wants me to inform you that Rennala has been vanquished. I might write Rennala. Here you go. Thank you. Oh, look, there she is, though.
Where did ye flee, my sweetings? Come out from whence ye hide. There are books and light aplenty, dither not. Come out, say I, or will ye be gravestones, to be better born anew?
I'm not even allowed to attack her.
That is it thy wish to become a...
Forget that she doesn't actually die.
Be not alive. I would birth thee.
She's like the only one who survives. Locked. It got her remembrance soul. She is the respec lady. The reason I thought the Pope did. Boy. Yeah, that's a lot of levels. Yeah, maybe stronger. At some point I'm gonna need some more endurance. Is this the statue of Radigan that's supposed to hide his secret? What is the secret? I mean, I know what the secret is. I guess I don't know. The statue hides it or hints at it. Oh, that's later. I guess I just teleport out of here, huh? There's nothing else. I got what killed her and that's it. Beat her. What's a better library level? This or library mind from Psychonauts 2? That's good too. I don't know. This is a pretty cool library. I mean, it's more of a magic school than a library. It just happens to have a lot of books. Guess I just leave. I wonder where Ronnie is. Must be maybe further north. This is for that quest. I do think we kind of go this way soon. We gotta. What's a better school level, this or school from Thomas Pro Skater? Well, school 2 is very peak, as they say.
Well then.
No.
May the Golden Order.
No, this room's open now.
You've received the wisdom of the two things, then I bid you welcome. I am known as Gideon Offmere. As a tarnished who wishes to stand before the I am accumulating knowledge. You now belong to a select group of fellows. You'll be after more Great Rune. Then as your fellow, allow the inheritors of the Great Rune. We of the Round Table know the location of 5 of them, including the one you defeated. Godric the Grafted, Lord of Stormvale. General Radahn, who fought Melania and her rot to a standstill in the Caelid Wilds. Praetor Rykard, Lord of the Volcano Manor of Mount Gelmir. Morgoth the Grace-Given, Veiled Monarch and Lord of Leyndell. And Rennala, Queen of the Full Moon.
Took care of her as well.
Ruler of Rhea Lucaria's Academy. You'll still be after more Great Runes, won't you?
You again. I thought you'd receive a summons to the Round Table. Nepheli Lu.
Yeah, I
I'm glad
remember
to see
you.
Here. I found it in Godric's grafting grounds. You were the one to defeat him. Make good use of it. I don't intend to make a habit of scavenging corpses.
Thank you. This. It's probably better than fire negation. What do I need to do to get light rolls? Can I do anything to get light rolls while still having some armor? No, then I may as well just have medium rolls for now. At some point we'll get the light rolls going. I'll negate you all I want. So I can remove that. I can remove these. These actually they don't take up equipment, huh? Hello. Doing Banjo-Tooie? Nice. I haven't really played much Banjo-Tooie before.
Well, I took you for dead, no matter
Talked
how
to you
your
like
arms-
30 minutes ago. Next time, there's all this to explore. There's also all this. And we can kind of head towards the Radon Festival stuff, right? From what I recall. Yep, we did what we set off to do today. We did manage to go through the magic school. The festival, yeah, it was social media. You know it. Good proggies. Whoops. That. All right. See if anyone else is on if we're just rating Games Done Quick. I think we're just rating Games Done Quick. Andrew Tui. Why not? All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Probably see you at some point this weekend. See you tomorrow for Game Mess Mornings, Voiceville Dump Truck, and Game Mess Decides with Sean. So, boy, yep, lots to do tomorrow. So, I will see you all then. You all have a good night. Bye-bye. Woo!